to Candid Conversations, where we have stimulating conversations involving real life people and real life situations. I am your host with the most, and always him. I am G, and I'm here with my Chief Perspective Officer today, Tabby. What's up, baby?
Hey. It is a great day.
Is it?
It is, always.
I'll try to believe that when this sinus pressure get on my face.
Yes, I can imagine it can be a bit challenging.
It is so annoying right now, bro. Like, oh my God. Ugh, so I'm losing my mind. See, I need that, and it's way over there. I'm gonna go get it while she talking. But I'm glad you're here today. You might have to help me out a little bit today.
I got you.
So just take it and just feel it.
Take the wheel.
Feel it. Take it. I ain't even mad at it. Listen, we're gonna have a dynamic show. Thank y'all for listening tonight. And I have a special treat. If you have Cluster TV's app right now, you can literally download it if you don't have it, or go ahead and click on it and watch the show live. You can see these beautiful people I'm on the stage with today.
That's right.
So let's introduce them right quick, and then we'll jump into what we got to jump in. We're going to start with my man on my sister station, Hot 92.3 on Saturdays.
Yes, 9 to 12.
9 to 12. Mr. Ron Big Bad Steel. What's happening, boy?
Hey, man. It's such a pleasure to be here again.
I love
on the
you.
show.
You will always be here. You will always have a seat.
And I take, anytime you want me, or when I want you to come, to have me come on, man. It's just a pleasure, man. I'm just so excited about being here again. So thank you.
I
giving
love
me
it.
back.
Well, thank you. Tell these folks what you do a little bit about yourself.
Well,
Whoever met the Big Steel guy.
Listen, Tuskegee, Alabama is where I'm from, and you can catch me on Hot 923 Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we got a lot of things going on. You can catch me during basketball season on ESPN Plus for Georgia State basketball, and you can catch me, just out in the community. We're doing a habitat bill right now, so I love the people. I love to get out and serve and do my thing. That's me.
That's definitely him. And listen, like, if y'all want that good, I ain't gonna say it because we on at the same time, but you can listen to Ron for an hour. Okay? Then you can come over to my channel. But no, he has the best show as far as smooth hip hop and R&B. He gives it to you every Saturday. It's amazing. Check him out. And if you're sports fans, you'll see him on TV, ESPN. He's the commentator. So you'll catch him on there, probably the biggest man on the commentating table.
Well, the biggest head at least, but
So
I
yes.
enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate you being here today, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you in.
Thank you very much.
And we're gonna actually let you introduce your friend here. She can introduce herself because you brought her on. So
Yeah, I wanted to take care of some topics.
Yes.
And I have a young lady, and this is Shamika Manuel, and she's an author. She's a yoga instructor.
Come on,
and
y'all.
She also, I'm going to let her kind of tell you about her profession and how she's so relevant to a lot of G's topics and Tab and what you guys go through from a week to week basis. So Shamika, take the microphone. Tell them exactly what you do.
Well, first let me say thank you so much for allowing me on this station. It is so amazing. When I first walked up in here, the energy was super, super amazing. Like, I am so blessed to be here. So
mine wasn't. Don't lie to these folks.
Hey,
Mine
listen.
was horrible. and it wasn't even intentional. It's just me trying to work and deal with a headache. But y'all was great.
Read your heart.
She
You
read
read
your
my
heart.
heart.
Exactly.
Okay.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Exactly.
Because you already know. Yeah. Okay.
So yes, it was amazing. So thank you again. So I am a yoga instructor, I'm a certified yoga instructor. I work with people who have been out of relationships because it is so hard to get back on your feet sometimes when you get out of relationships. Right?
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
That pain, that hurt, all the other stuff that you're carrying. You know, we try to get it off because yoga is about releasing all of that. You know,
Interesting.
so that's what I do.
I
That's what I
never
specialize in
looked
when
at
I
it.
do the yoga.
I
instructing.
never looked at it from that aspect.
Yeah.
I guess because I ain't been in no relationship, but that's cool for people who do it.
Well, you know, in a relationship with yourself.
And that's what I was, and you took the words
Okay.
right out of
You
my
gotta
mouth.
love yourself
Not
first.
only just, but not only just a relationship with yourself, relationship with your parents, with your siblings,
Yeah.
with your relatives. You know what I'm saying? Because
Just
sometimes
relationships.
everybody don't have good relationships with their family members.
This is true.
That is true.
This is very accurate
So,
information.
Yeah, so this is what I do, and I'm also a family support specialist. So I do family treatment too as well.
Okay.
I got some clients for you.
Hey, baby mama.
Listen,
Gee, do I
that's
bring
amazing.
the best or what? Do I bring the
Yeah,
best?
that's amazing. I
Bring it.
wasn't even thinking about yoga. I know a couple of instructors that do, traditional yoga, but I didn't think of it from that perspective.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just helping yourself heal from bad relationships. That's dope.
Thank
Well, okay. Well, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. This is going to be really probably better than I thought it was.
At the end of the show, we're gonna definitely get that information because
This is
I know
probably-
people probably now like, hey, what's our information?
Yeah, they'll probably be texting us through the show because they be scared to call. But it's okay. If your phone is on, please silence that for me, please, because the
Yes.
TV feedback, I just came today.
I can-
Listen, Tabitha, tell these folks where they can
Yes.
listen to us at right now. There's a little difficulty right now, but you can tell them what they can do.
Yeah, you may be having a little technical issues, but go ahead and try it anyway. Go to ATL Talks, download the app, and you can listen to us via iHeart, directly on the app, via Google Play, as well as the Apple Store.
Absolutely.
If you're having any technical issues doing it directly, just go to iHeart for now.
Or the Cluster app.
And definitely the Cluster app, you can catch us live.
Yeah, but you can also listen to the stations as well, because the stations are on Cluster's live app
That
as well.
makes sense.
But it just makes sense for you to just watch.
Really true.
Just watch.
Get 2 for 1.
2 for
Get
1.
to hear and to see.
Yeah, and for my YouTube audience, because I'm filming this for y'all too, please like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell because, this is all about y'all. You get me? This is about y'all, and we try to see what we can do to change the climate and thinking of this world. You know what I'm saying? So just let us know, and we're going to make sure we adjust to what you need us to adjust to. So we don't know who we touching today, but it's going to be some good stuff. So listen.
Amazing.
I'm excited now. I feel like the pressure's leaving because I took about 12 Advil. So I can breathe. I can't taste it. I'm starting to taste this mint a little bit. But again, thank y'all for being here. It is so cool to meet just different individuals every time we have somebody on here. So this is good. Rodney ain't nobody, but all right, y'all. So I like to start off with a little blood flower, which we call the the icebreaker question, just to get the juices flowing. This one might be easy. You know what I'm saying? I already know your answer, but I'm gonna start with you.
You don't.
I do.
Do not.
The question of the day is, if you could eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Tabitha, CPO, I'm gonna start with you.
And just because you said you know my answer,
You don't know what I'm
gonna
saying though.
switch it up.
Oh, don't switch it. The question is, don't switch it, be
I
you.
am gonna switch it.
Why?
Because it's actually going to go either way.
Liar.
No, I have said this. If I had to eat one food all the time, it would be cornbread dressing.
You are that. Ooh, girl.
Cornbread dressing.
Why are you sitting here
So
lying?
good.
She wanted to say chicken.
Well, first of all, if you get the right cornbread
You
dressing,
can
it
add
has
chicken in it.
No.
Right.
Wow.
Right. She just should have said chicken, but I'll take cornbread dressing.
dressing.
Do you know how to make a good cornbread dressing?
Do not, but I tell you what, I have some amazing people like my mother-in-law, my uncle. Oh my gosh, they make me my own pan.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Looks
'cause
like I'm
they know.
traveling to Conyers this
Yes, yes.
year. Uh-huh. Okay. Ryan, what you got, brother?
You know what? Fried corn. You've ever had some good fried corn with bacon in it?
You're definitely Southern.
It will.
Alabama, right?
Bacon or fat?
Tuskegee, Alabama. More like bacon.
Okay.
Okay.
Fatback, that's, I don't know.
Okay.
But, I had a couple of answers. I was just running it through, because one of my favorite foods is chicken livers, but they kind of,
Yeah.
you got to find somebody that can cook them.
Cook 'em right,
Too
yeah.
hard. And then I like shrimp, but I'm going to stick with that good old fried corn, man, because my wife can really make it. And we used to go to a Super Bowl party, and the guy said, you cannot come until you bring me some of that.
Oh,
fried
wow. So the wife like, damn, I got to
Super
cook all
Bowl
these
party,
things.
that's what's up.
Okay.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in
left us,
peace.
But he was a fan, and my wife really enjoyed cooking some fried corn for him. And he would get the bowl, and he'd be like, everybody be like, can I take? Nope, this is mine.
This is mine. Okay. And what about you, ma'am?
Let's see. I've been sitting here thinking, and I'm like, wow, what food? I want to say macaroni and cheese. I want to say, I
That's
want to
good.
say
Let me guess you like to eat.
mashed potatoes. But you know I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
so
that's okay.
I know, right?
That's okay.
That's
As
okay.
if it
That's
was
okay.
condolences.
But one of my favorite foods, I think this is one I'm gonna stick with, is a kale wrap. A good one.
Okay.
What's in
Everybody
it?
can't make them.
What's in
The
it?
kale is in. Now I get it. I make my own sometimes, but I don't make it as good as someone I know. Like it's a restaurant, but I ain't gonna name it.
Okay.
But yeah, she has onions and cucumbers and some kind of oil dressing. Something. It's really good. It has couscous in it. Got avocado in it. You know, and it has like the wrap is a lot of times I get the seaweed, you know, that goes around it. Sometimes I get the spinach. So that's what I'm eating for the rest of my life.
All right, all right.
Man.
Okay. I mean, you know, she gonna be skinny just like she is, and that's fine.
I knew he was gonna say something.
And that's fine. You can say that way. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. I can deal with that. That's healthy though. That's healthy. Keep your skin clear and all that good stuff up. Okay.
Well, what about you, G? What's that one food?
Ooh. Well, I like taters. So I could do French fries for the rest of my life. But since I like delicacies, I'm gonna do crawfish and shrimp etouffee for the rest of my days.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's because I'm from New Orleans. You know, you gotta cook it right. Well, I'm from Baton Rouge, but Louisiana. You gotta cook it right.
Okay, you just had
Having a
some
moment
of
over
that.
there?
Yeah, no, right? You just ate some of that.
I just had
A New Orleans moment.
I just had it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Bed of rice with crawfish and shrimp and all the, yeah, it's so good stuff. Rest of my life. If you never had it,
It's not a bad choice.
you might want to try it.
Not a bad
I
choice.
guarantee you'll like it. Because they have a lot of imitators out here in Georgia. But they ain't duplicating it. No disrespect. Tell
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say,
disrespect is
'cause
taken
we're
'cause
not
I'm
Georgia's.
ATL.
Oh, you're ACL too?
ATL.
Well, you got another one up here with you. She's from here too, so.
Yeah, so look, it's not like it is in New Orleans. You know we're not known for seafood, right?
But y'all know
We
with them
are
damn
known-
chicken wings.
We known for lemon pepper. We
Yeah.
with
Oh.
the sprinkles.
I don't even do that. I go to JJ's and get my chicken wing. Woo!
Oh,
You ever had
no.
JJ's chicken wing?
I
had
have,
some
man.
the
I
other
was
day.
not impressed.
That's your problem. I was.
I was just
Woo!
saying, I wasn't.
You had the
Pan
salt shaker,
sprinkle
the
that.
salt
Yes,
shaker with the
God.
chain on it so you can't steal it.
That is crack.
So you can't steal.
Now,
You
I tell
cannot steal
who
it, they
did
will not let you
come
take it.
That I like,
No,
that came from
it's good.
Chicago.
I don't eat the chicken though.
What's
But
that?
I
Yeah.
had
The
I think it's
spiral.
the Ice Bar or something like that.
The ice
The
bar.
Ice Bar or
From
something like
Chicago?
that. Yeah, they do Chicago. They have really good chicken.
Okay. Well, you
Oh,
would know
check
because
this
you
out.
like chicken.
That's right.
You would know. Well, listen, I hope they got the blood pumping a little bit. Everybody started laughing a bit, so that makes me know it worked a little bit. So, we're going to get started here. Before I jump in, I just want to get y'all thoughts on really quick. I'm not going to do my other people's business today. That's the entertainment section. But I wanted to talk about the couple of mass shootings we've had in the last couple of days. What is going on with our world, bro? That's one of the topics we're going to talk about today. But what the hell is people thinking, like, block party, you trying to have a positive block party, you out there shooting up people. What is going on, y'all?
It's hard to understand. It's really hard to understand because we had one in Tuskegee not too long ago in
Right.
Dadeville, Alabama.
Yeah.
The young men were from Tuskegee who went and shot up the little party in Dadeville, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to. I can't wrap my head around it. The things that the saying that I say the most right now is not for me to understand. And I know I'm not answering the question, but
that's
who
okay.
can offer? Yeah, well, who can offer what's going on?
Oh, I don't know. I just look back and I know I'm not trying to single them out, but it's almost the younger generation that's doing it, right? And I feel like there's not enough outlets for them right now because it's so easy and accessible to do things now versus when we were probably growing up. It's so easy for them to get in there and learn stuff with the computer, like learn stuff and research how to do certain guns to choose and all this stuff. It's so easy and accessible for them. And then I don't know the backstory. We don't know what's going on in their house or what's going on in their life to make them invoke an anger reaction where they want to go out and kill somebody. Or it's that angry where you want to take people's lives. It's really weird.
Well, I mean, it's a culmination of culture as well.
That's
so, when you're taking a look at laws now that are making so much stuff accessible for no reason, right? I mean, obviously the Second Amendment is there for a reason, but you're not defending yourself in most of the cases, right?
True.
You know what I'm saying? You're actually initiating.
Enforcing.
Yeah, you know what I'm
violence
saying, and
against
things of
it.
that nature. And so now I think that it's just outward expression of that whole mentality.
I agree with Tab because you can actually go online now and you can order the parts to make you an AR-15 rifle.
Oh, I'm saying it's so accessible.
And what's so interesting is that this is overpower for protection. This is overpowerment for protection because you don't need an AR-15, something that can shoot off however many rounds. You don't need that.
Yeah.
And so it's tough because this technology, man, has just made a lot of things and a lot of feelings accessible where they were before they weren't accessible.
And you had time to cool off by the time you had to get to it and wait and you know what I'm saying, some things of that nature. So, but it was interesting enough. I was looking at the other day. They were talking about even with technology, way back when they did the atom bomb. And it's like, okay, so you guys just discovered world-changing information, and that's what you do with it.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just weird. I just wanted to hit that for a second because there's so many lives being lost senselessly. It's just ridiculous, and I just send prayers out to all the families who are dealing with that right now. Just be safe wherever you're doing or wherever you're going or whatever you just look all around, be observant. Just be careful what you put yourself into, because life is too short and it's going faster and faster every time you turn around. Somebody's losing their life. But you have something to say? You good?
Oh, I just believe that it's just a lot of factors that play into it. You know what I'm saying? Like someone said that, these are the younger generation, and I think they just don't have that family structure like we had back in the day. I work with foster kids as well, and that family structure just not there. They don't have adults who are leading them and guiding them in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So they're on their own. They're listening to each other.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Y'all just be safe. Just be safe whatever you're indulging in. But here we go. Let's go ahead and dive into these conversations. By all means, I have to throw this disclaimer out here. We are not therapists, okay? We're simply a group of individuals having dialogue about life situations and what we possibly think we can do to change things. Or give that one person who may need that little glimmer of hope. But it is a candid conversation, so we candidly talk here, okay? So just be mindful. All right, so first question of the day, y'all. I look at these lists and I be trying to figure out which one I want to go with first, so I be trying to toss them up. Let's just dive on in. About the current state of the world today that we're living in, right? Do you think it's going to get worse before it gets better? We're talking inflation, we're talking cost of living, we talk all the things that's affecting our planet today, right? May not affect some people because some people might be blessed. They may have a little change in their pocket. It might not be hurting them, you know what I'm saying? But the things that are happening, because y'all have been around a while, right? You probably done lived, I'm not trying to be funny or disrespectful, but y'all have probably seen a couple things, you know what I'm saying? Like, as life going, maybe, have you been through it in world wars, any of the wars or any of the inflations?
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just like things like that, right? So we see these things happening.
Not one or two or three. I'm just kidding.
We see these things happening. We try to see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? But then it gets there and then it goes back. Then it gets there again. So what do you think about the state of the world today? Will it get worse before it gets better?
Who you're asking?
And there's three people up here.
Go ahead.
honestly, I really think it's going to get worse. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to say why.
Oh, yeah.
People frown at that one.
That's okay. No.
But I just feel like that's the cycle of life. You know what I'm saying? Things are going to go, you're going to have the pros and the cons. It's going to be a cycle of up and down, up and down, up and down. And right now we're in the down. You know what I'm saying? We're in the valley. And I feel like something else is happening that we probably can't even see. You know what I'm saying? Earth is purging herself. You know what I'm saying? Getting rid of certain things. We can't see what's happening, but it's happening, but it's cleansing us out to get ready for the up. So I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh, okay. She says it'll clean us out first. Cleanse.
Cleanse us.
Okay.
I had that cleanse before everything had to come out.
Right. Okay.
I think one of the biggest issues today is greed, and people are exploiting the youth and the poor. I read a study the other day that said there are actually companies out there that are purchasing all the affordable homes. They're buying all the affordable homes,
Companies are buying.
and they're jacking the prices up $300,000 and $400,000. Where people like the inflation and the home buying. That's why my daughter's graduated from college. I'm like, stay at home. So there's no reason that you should go out and pay $1,800 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Say it one more time, Lord, for the people who ain't understanding it.
There's no reason for you to do that.
It's
Stay at
ridiculous.
home and stack your chips and get
Jesus.
ready for that time, because right now food is high because people the demand. Housing, affordable housing is really jacked up because people see that, hey, you got all these people in Atlanta, all these people in this certain area, they all want a house. Hey, $175,000 house, I could get $300 for it. So I'm gonna go for it. It's just greed. It's nothing but greed. But also, I do fault the fact that we're not as social as we used to be. Not many of us get together in a room and do candid conversation. We do Facebook, we do, Instagram, and that's why a lot of these youth they don't know how to deal with someone face to face.
Exactly.
Without
Communication
getting
is terrible.
It is, because all they used to doing is, what they call it?
Texting.
Yeah, snapping back, or
Even when they do that, it's not even a complete sentence.
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I was just telling a couple of friends last week, like the last time I went into a restaurant and I walked in and I'm seated at the table and I'm looking at the table with families and kids, right? Everybody's doing this on the phone.
Yeah.
There's no engagement with the family. They're not talking about anything. They're all on the phone. When the food comes, they take a picture of the food and go back and start eating with their phone in their hand. Nobody's engaging in dialogue anymore. So I 100% agree with you. Like, where's the effective communication going to come from? Is it going to come eventually, or do we have to? Is this where we at right now?
They don't have it, man, and it's tough to interact with someone when you can't talk to them face to face and relate. When you're relating with a device, man, it is tough, and therefore your people skills deteriorate.
Definitely. And that's why, like with my daughter, I make sure that when she's communicating with adults, I need you to use grammar. I need you to spell words out. I need, punctuation and things like that. And just that, I say, hey, how do you and your friends communicate? Great. But when you're talking to adults, I need you to form a complete thought, right? And part of that is, again, as you said, it's one of the things you don't use, you will lose. So you have to keep engaging in, thoughtful conversation and complete thoughts so that you'll keep that skill set going. I do think that when we say worse, I agree with Ms. Shamika that there is a scenario where you have your ups and your downs, right? That's just part of how life flows, right? Like, you're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your down. I love when you said valley, you know what I'm saying? I think it's, again, a part of what goes on to show you what you don't like, right? How do you know what you want? How do you know what you want to see? You see some stuff you don't want to see. Once you start saying some stuff you don't want to see, that's when you start changing. You make changes, whether they be incremental or sometimes large changes. And I think this generation is doing one thing, that they are ushering in a lot of new ideas and naming stuff, like tradition just for the sake of tradition, right? Which is great. I got some traditional things that I like to do. But they are literally questioning, okay, well, why? Okay, and I got it that you did that for 50 decades, but why? You know what I'm saying? And does it make sense today? You know what I'm saying? Can you, expand on it, or at least tweak it a little bit so that it is relevant to, how I do something today? So I think that part of it is where it will carry us into the next, generation of life expression, I guess, and for lack of a better word. But humans being humans, you know, we gotta get gully a little bit sometimes. That's just the fun part of the drama.
Right.
Some of the drama we like, and then we decide, enough of that. What about you, G?
I'm like her. I see it and I want to have hope for it with these leaders in office and these people who try to run stuff and make us like live off of their beliefs and things of that nature. You just can't do some things like that. But because I used to be one of the, I'm still not into politics at all. But before I learned, I was one of those people like, oh, the president makes all the damn decisions. Well, I knew that was a lie. Well, I figured out it was a lie. I'm like, oh, he don't do that. He got to go through a set of people to get what he want to have done.
That's true.
And they may not agree with what's going on. Then I started to learn, oh, there's Democrats, Republicans, Independent. This is how this works. So when you have people are so hell-bent on pushing you into their way of living, everybody's not going to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they can't come to a compromise. I was watching, real quick, last night, before all this started happening. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, one of my favorite action heroes growing up, from Commando on up. Right, that's when I started knowing who he was. I didn't know the Conan stuff, but he has a documentary on Netflix. So I'm watching, and he was showing how he came from over there in Austria to come over here. And when he got here, you know, the whole bodybuilding thing, got his couple movies. So when he decided to go into politics, he was like, I don't know shit about politics. This is this is like a challenge for him, and to see, because he had that popularity, see if he can win. I'm like, you just did it because you was bored? Oh, okay, cool. So he was like, when he got into office, he was just like, okay, now what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So he got in there, and like the first like year or something, he was kind of filling out. He made some mistakes or whatever. So then the second year, he was like, okay, I know how I want to play this. He hired a whole Democratic cabinet, and everybody who was a Democrat, he hired them to be on their side, on his side.
Because he was a Republican.
Because he was a Republican. He's like, I'm going to hire Democrats. He hired his chief of staff was a lesbian, and she had all this here. I was like, they don't like that over here, so I'm going to hire them. They'll come over here so I can hear their side. He hired all Democrats. Wow. He said, now I have both sides of the spectrum. He was reelected. Because he had both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
And that's what it was designed to
That's
do.
what it was designed to do.
Like, even the three branches of power was designed so that not one person had the ability to make decisions.
The total decision.
It's a balance.
But I love the way he infused people over here to get to the bigger picture.
Right.
But I feel like now with everything being so... people just want to have their way, and I feel like it's not going to go nowhere. Like with the whole affirmative action turnover... now you can refuse business to LGBT people. They've been doing it, but now you can really do it. Yeah, I don't have to service you. It's just a lie.
Well, what it will do though, it'll show you, if you think back to just like even with civil rights, we at this table are definitely, examples of a generation that there was an acceptable type of behavior. It was the norm to do certain things to people of color, minorities, and even women on top of that.
Yeah.
And then though, but as people evolve and expanded to, that's not acceptable. That's when the change kind of came about. And just like now, you take a look at, to me, Democratic, Republican, whatever your name is, you're supposed to be for the country.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of your party title.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be for the country. So if you're not making decisions that are for the country, regardless as to whether I, quote unquote, call myself Republican or Democrat, then I need to be making a decision about that, because that is where you're telling me what you really think of not only the country, but me too. And that's where, to me, I love the fact that the younger generation they don't have that type of traditional loyalty. It's almost like, I get it that, 10 years ago you did this. What are you doing today, though? You know what I'm saying?
I like that, too. And I like that. I don't want to say challenge, but they do question. And not disrespectfully.
Right.
They just, I'm sure your son or your daughter's probably like, so Dad, just asking you a question, not disrespectfully. They're just trying to get an answer, so make it make sense a little bit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you did
Nothing wrong
this.
with that.
And it's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
Even though it
With
comes
that.
out crazy.
Yeah, they may not know how to phrase it because of here again lack of the communication skill.
True.
So, Dad, you told me. So you mean to tell me you went to school for 4 years, and you racked up all this debt, okay? And now you got $30,000 with the school loans, and you want me to do the same? You want me to do the same
Right.
thing?
And you go to a job that you
And you go to a
apparently
job
don't
you
like.
might not even like the job, but you go in there just so you can take care of us, which you do a good job of. But make it make sense to me to go to school. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So why'd you do it? Well, son, that's what we had to do.
That's what we were told. to
That's
do.
what we were told to do.
That was the
norm. There you go.
Work at the post office,
Yeah.
become an engineer, a doctor,
The
all this
GM
stuff.
of Ford plants.
There you go.
And that's where you had the
30 years
stability.
to sit down
You had
Right.
the stability to do that. We was just talking about this a couple weeks ago. A couple associates of mine that you could use to get a job with the post office, plant, whatever. And you be on there for your 30 years.
Get your gold watch and go
And
sit
then you
down.
out, you get your retirement. If you're lucky, you got a pension, whatever. You could now you can go to a job like me and you talk about this all the time. We are expecting those jobs to be there when we get up in the morning, and they can very well be like, well, thank you for your services. The job, the company went bankrupt.
And being in Georgia, you're right to fire state, so you never know.
Very much at will. I learned that in 2008
But
when the recession hit.
But the only way to get better, and from a society standpoint, in my mind, is we have to rebuild a family structure. We have to rebuild
foundation.
the family
Okay, and how does one do that?
structure. Well,
Where do we start with that?
you gotta listen. First of all, people have to raise and take care of their own household. The schools will not do it for you, and therefore we have to take accountability for our children and our household. And regardless of whether it's single family, regardless of whether it's whatever it is today, whether it's a lady and a lady, a man and a man, or whatever the case may be, but take responsibility for what comes out of the household. I always talk about being in my day. When people saw me in Alabama, first thing they want to know is who your folks is.
Yes.
And that's how they ask you, who your folks is. Turner, you a Turner? Okay, well I knew your dad. I bet I ever catch you messing up no more.
All right.
But it takes a village, but it starts at home.
Oh yeah.
It starts at home, but then it starts also in the surrounding community.
Yeah, your community.
So right now, the young people, man, they will cuss you, slap out. You disrespected me. Why did I disrespect you? Because I told you something that I needed you to do.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff that's going on, and we don't have enough showtime to really even go through it because it's a ton of stuff. But if you rebuild the family dynamics, and when I talk about family, I don't mean it doesn't have to be traditional.
No, yeah, I
It
get you.
just has to be, you take accountability for your children. My wife's an assistant principal. She talks to people all the time.
Yeah.
Hey,
She's
man,
probably a built-in therapist.
She's calling the parents, saying your child is acting a fool, can you come get him?
What, she got elementary?
Nobody picks up the phone, right? So she gets the police, she gets the resource officer, and they take him to the hospital. The lady answers the door. She ends up smoking, doing whatever she doing lines or whatever the case may be.
Come on, line.
No accountability.
Yeah.
There's no accountability.
And then you wonder though, what, as G like to say, the backstory for them, because naturally, as parents, you have a natural connection to your child in most cases, right?
In most
'Cause
cases.
not all people that can have kids are, motherly and fatherly. They just, hey, my job was to get you here. That's it.
You know you're home now.
And after that, hey, I did my part, right? So it kind of speaks to, again, when we talk about things getting better or worse, the state of the world in general that's, showing up at the home, right? Where normally that was your safe space, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it wasn't your exact home, your auntie or your neighbor's space, and you know what I'm saying, you had some haven, that you used to rely on, and everybody was kind of consistent and everybody was together.
Right,
you know? So I agree that, establishing that base would definitely help.
So rebuilding the foundation. Okay.
Yep. And I remember back in the day, my mom's from Covington, Georgia.
Not too far from you.
I'm in the sticks.
Every Sunday, we went to great grandma's house.
For dinner.
Had dinner.
That's right.
It built our family. It made us strong.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, what grandmama at? You got a lot. I have friends that's grandmamas. They not like that.
They
No,
young,
I'll tell
they
you
younger.
quick, though.
They're
Like,
probably 37 years old.
Exactly. So it's like that. That
Younger grandmothers.
foundation is broken.
Yeah.
That foundation is loose.
Literally. No, I'm just
Women
playing.
thou art loose.
Yeah.
Damn good man.
You know, I didn't grow up in that dynamic where we did that type of an ordeal. Like, you know, the tradition, like I can visualize Rodney, y'all having meals at the table together as a family, right? I didn't grow up in that because it was my mom and my grandmother. We would be in the house because I always stayed up under them. But we didn't do the whole sit your butt at the table, eat, take your food, go to the living room, go to the bar room. So, like, but we would have dialogue in between, though. So I still feel it was a safe haven. But I agree with you as far as like the neighborhoods. Because if I did something in the neighborhood, baby, you best believe.
Your
You
parents,
can-
your grandmama, your mama
Oh, yeah.
gonna hear about it.
Like, not here, like, oh, yeah, I give you permission to whoop that ass.
Before you got
Before
home.
you get it from the neighbor, then you go home and get another one if it was that kind of an ordeal. Because at that time, you were in a space where people literally cared about your safety and all that stuff, right?
That's right.
But now we're in a space where everybody's kind of focused on themselves and it's self-preservation, right? So nobody's really thinking about what you got going on outside of the family if it's not related to me. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
in some cases they have been, but like you said, you get a certain type of reaction, you
Yeah.
know, when you're saying something to somebody else's kid and things like that.
Yeah, it's
as
different
opposed
now.
to,
Yeah.
There was a level of understood permission.
Yeah.
You know, if they're out there acting, I trust you to, you know, look out for
Get
them
them in
and
line.
to do the right things
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I try to run in those circles too, where I have conversations with my nieces and nephews. I tell them quick, I don't care. I didn't have to birth you, but in this space, this is what's expected.
Right.
Right.
And, you know, again, you're going to go out there and be grown and do your thing because that's what humans do, right? But when you come in this space, there's a certain expectation. So I think that's part of it too, you know, because their family structure set that
Huge word.
expectation.
That's a huge word she just used. Expectation. Nobody's setting expectations, bro. Like, do you know people don't even know their neighbors no more?
That's what I just said that. Nobody really knows.
I hate to harp on
You know, it's cool. Nobody knows.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we had people move in. Maybe because I'm tall and ugly and big and stuff. I took a step toward the lady and waved, and she closed the garage and went
Oh,
down.
rented the house.
And I said to myself, wow.
It's kind of like, I guess I see both sides. Because, I mean, honestly, you can't trust all your neighbors.
Well, you really can't trust anybody. But I
Yeah,
guess
you
the
know what
thing
I'm
would be like, okay, we're in this neighborhood. We try to keep it together, right? I would at least want to know my neighbors. If something happened to me or if something
If you're
happened to the
coming
neighbor.
up to me, though,
Give them a chance to show you who they are.
Yeah.
Once they show you who they are,
If not, you show me you an a-hole, okay, well then I don't want to have
Yeah,
nothing to do
we
with you.
good,
But if I'm trying to look out for you like, hey, Mr. you know, just so you know, you was out of town last week. I kind of kept an eye on the house.
That's
So
right.
you had a couple visits.
we still do that now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just that kind of a thing.
Yes.
But I agree with you too. I get you too. Some people just don't want to F with you like that.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like I got a neighbor across the hall from me. I used to speak. She just keep it moving. I'm like, okay, well you keep moving.
Yeah.
If something happened to you,
If somebody over there tapping you on the head, don't
Right.
expect me to come.
Right.
Don't expect me to come over there and say,
Right.
Well, I'm just saying.
well, I tried to introduce myself to you, but you said okay. But I had to learn that too because when I moved here, I'm from a state where we speak to complete strangers, and it's, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you been? We can be sitting on the porch. Hey, car driving by. Hey, that's how we are. I got here and started that same philosophy and I learned quick. You can't do that here. 'Cause I was, what you speaking to me for? So I know you.
I'm gonna speak up
Yeah.
for Georgia.
The implant,
Back
that's
in
right.
the
Those
day,
ain't
you
Georgia people.
That's right.
No, back in the day, you used to could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It
You can
wasn't
with
until
Georgia.
things have changed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Things have changed. Back in the day, you speak to strangers. You know what I'm saying? All that. But now it's like something
But
happened.
what has changed? Shamika?
What do you think the change? What do you think the shift happened?
All y'all outsiders done moved to Georgia.
Because we was fine.
We was fine. Okay. No, I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. It's like it's a combination of a lot of things. A lot of brokenness has been in the families. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's so many people carrying around pain, and it goes generations to generations behind us. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's something that's trickling up now, and now it's coming to the surface. Everything's being brought out.
which is why effective communication it's vital. Because as black people, and we've discussed this before, when it comes to the family dynamic and secrets, they don't want to discuss that. They're not going to talk about it. They're going to protect the molester. They're going to protect the person that's the drunk. The person that got the financial issues, they're going to protect them. And then when the children are sins, because children are not as naive as you think they are.
No,
they picking up on it. You know what I'm saying?
More is caught than taught.
Right.
Ooh, I
Oh.
Say it again.
like- say it again.
More is caught than taught.
More is caught than taught.
Yeah.
So they watch it and they observe it and they see it. And then, okay, well, mom and dad did this, or uncle and auntie did this. I shouldn't have a problem doing this. And then it hits the next generation. And then it keeps going. And then it keeps going. When is the cycle going to be broken? That's the
That's
question.
the toughest
But
question.
that's why we have these young people now who are kind of like rebels. You know
Yep.
what I'm
Yes,
saying?
they are
You know,
rebels, yeah.
that
Definitely
rebellious
that.
spirit is what's gonna break
Yep.
them cycles of the family.
And it's
You know what
needed.
I'm saying?
It's needed.
It's definitely
And I
needed.
think for us, you have the layer of, you know, you're all instilled in we have to be twice as good, half as bad. So you don't want to necessarily protect somebody, but at the same time, you're looking at how that's going to trickle down and make the whole family look, and you know what I'm saying, the shame and all that other stuff that's just the individual human part that they don't want to deal with, you know. So it's
They gotta get dealt
Interesting.
with it though.
yeah. As he said, if it don't get caught, it's gonna be taught one way or the other. So
Yeah, it's the way of the world, man.
That
It's
is
the way of the world.
I eventually I hope it can get better. I don't see it, but 'cause I mean just looking at what's happening, like, whew, I just never some of the stuff that I'm seeing I never thought I'd see. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I feel like I was in Mayberry when I was young. Just chill, go to school, do your thing. You know?
well, a lot of stuff you didn't hear about either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It wasn't necessarily that a lot of stuff wasn't going on. It wasn't, you didn't hear about it because obviously you didn't have all the different media outlets. Not everybody had TV.
Yeah, the world is more open.
You know what I'm saying? And
NBC,
stuff like
CBS,
that.
and NBC is
But
all
I-
right.
Yeah, I know, right? With the antenna. Move that antenna over.
Yeah.
But I think, to me, the reason I can keep eternal hope is if you're looking at, even on that scale, you're talking about, it's about 8 billion people on the planet. You're not even talking about like 0.01%. So out of that, you know, you do have scenarios where there are things happening, again, that's just not at the forefront a lot of times. So obviously something such as a mass shooting is going to take, you know, front and center, as it should. Again, weighing it against the whole, you know, even in Atlanta, you have about, in metropolitan now, you have about 6 million people, right? So not to minimize, you know, the impact on anybody's life, whether if it's one person got shot, you know what I'm saying? That's one person that, you know, hopefully that if something can be done to change that or, you know, change the trajectory on that. But on the scale of keeping a high hope and a high watch to know that, again, as you stated, that it's all about the cycle of life, that is still a really, really small number just based on
A percentage.
other activities and things like that are going on. So that's how I keep my sanity going. You know, I do a numbers game.
Right. And that will ease the pain, and let you, I guess, focus a whole lot more on reality than just the bad stuff. Because if you look at the news, it'll depress you
Oof.
because they don't focus on nothing but the bad.
I'm like, why do you even get out of bed?
And so it's just tough, man. It's just, you know, when you ask that question, it's such a broad.
It's very broad. That's-
engaging
it is.
question.
And loaded.
That's why I
It
did
is
it.
loaded too. Good point there.
That's why it's done that way, because you want to hear different perspectives on things. What he could have been thinking, I could have not even thought of, and just got a whole new understanding. That's why I do broad, open questions. I do this.
That's what he
Candid
does.
conversation.
I do this.
I love it.
I do this.
You do
Well, since we are there, let's just go ahead and segue into when we were talking about breaking the curse or the gap or the cycle. Why do you think that individuals do suppress everything that's bad happening? Why do you think they suppress it so hard? So then when they go off and pop off, this is when we come up with the massive shootings,
Right.
the suicide rates, just doing an influx of activity of illegal stuff when people just suppress so much and they just had enough. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think we suppress it? Why do you think we can't talk about it? I mean, we're in a space now when it's becoming normalized to have my favorite word, therapy.
That's your favorite
And
word.
just
my favorite word.
express yourself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But again, we've had so much so many things that have happened. We're like, okay, well, maybe I should just hold that in. You know what I'm saying? And I'll deal with it on my own the way I need to, but it needs to come out eventually. He like he ready. Go ahead.
No, listen, ladies, y'all can. I mean, to me, it goes right back to the microwave accessibility of
Microwave
clapping
accessibility.
back, you know, bullying, all that stuff today is done on social media. It's just like, hey, me and you got into an argument Friday on the school grounds. Guess what? We can't talk no more until Monday morning. Now, y'all can clap back all during the weekend long.
Or
You
they
can
can
say
come- or
this,
they
you
can just
say
come
that,
find you.
Well, look, I mean,
They're
anything,
not gonna get behind the screen,
anything,
though.
but just understand how it used to be.
Yeah.
How it used to be. Like people, like you can really tell when there's an old school song because it talks about a girl I stopped and put a dime in the telephone, in the payphone and
Right.
called you up. Payphone, what?
What's
you
that?
talk to young people like, you know, we actually had to stop the car and put in a quarter or a dime to actually call somebody.
Uh-huh.
And y'all had pagers, and now you got cell phones, and now you got all this stuff. Too much accessibility in technology, to me, you can say that it's been so positive if it was used in the right way, but many times it's not used in the right way. And it's a problem. It's all about those social skills that I talked about. So why am I going to open up? Why am I going to open up on social media or open up into a platform where I know people can come in and say things because I can't see you, but you can come in and call me a dirty dog or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call me.
So they're judging you at that point.
They judge. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just tough, man, for you to get out there on that busy highway. And I want y'all to chime in. I mean, I'm looking at it from my perspective.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. That technology, man, it has made things so finite and accessible that people use it. They use it for evil, and they use it for bullying and different things like that. And that's why I feel like people feel like they have no outlet.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies.
Well, I think, of course, suppressing stuff it goes back to the innate human nature to self-preservation, right? I don't want to expose myself. I want to put myself out there. If you think about one of the oldest stories we know of, even in the Bible, you know, you're lying. You know what I'm saying? You're not owning up to what you did because, again, you feel shame, guilt, fear, you know what I'm saying, judgment, all of those things that come along with you being in somebody else's head, trying to figure out what they're going to think about what you're expressing. So, to me, that's most of the root of it. Instead of me expressing myself, I'm pretty much trying to gauge the room to see what you're going to think about what I'm going to say or share and things like that, as opposed to, you know, hey, if I need to talk about an experience that happened with me, it really doesn't matter what you think of it in that instant, because that's not going to change the fact that it happened to me, right? So I have to have enough self-awareness to understand that if I want to share it, that maybe Shamika may not really translate the information in the way that I want her to, but she's going to translate it based on the way it makes sense to her, right? And that doesn't lessen or make me wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think it really gets to the bottom line of who want to be right versus wrong, that type of thing. And once you get into that, that's where it's real easy to, again, to kind of like just hold it in.
So I agree with that. But you said something, you talked about self-awareness. And I think it's a lot of people lack self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-love, and we're afraid, like, if in order to express yourself, you got to be open, you got to be vulnerable. Nobody wants to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to be vulnerable, because why? Because you get hurt, and that's the thing. No one wants to be hurt. You know, no one wants to experience the pain and everything else. So it's like we bottled it up, because that's like our defense mechanism. I'm safe that way. I'm safe.
Anyway.
Well, you think you're safe until it's gonna come out anyway, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's like everybody's just we're afraid. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. We're afraid. We are afraid.
That's what you hit it right on the head for me. I think people suppress their emotions because out of fear, for one, and out of embarrassment and judgment, because we don't know what it is that they're suppressing, and don't nobody want to share because of fear of the rejection, the fear of the hurt, or what's going to come behind it. I can say I'm an example of it because when I started this platform, I had to pray on it when it was offered to me. Like, okay, if I'm going to have a dialogue like this, that means I'm going to have to literally be as open as some legs.
That's right.
I didn't hear that.
Not as
No, I'm just joking.
That's what I was thinking about.
Right. No, but I'm literally going to have to be vulnerable,
Transparent.
open,
Yeah.
unapologetically unafraid to say what I have to say. Because there was some stuff I didn't want to talk about, and especially as a black man.
But has it helped you?
It literally has. It has. This is like my therapy when I can't meet with my therapist.
Right.
So when I
that
have,
explains it.
yeah,
I hate that.
yeah, she's trying it.
it.
She's trying. Nah, but I feel like to me it's helped. It helped me see a clear version of myself because I am in the stages of learning to love myself more, you know. And it's taking this age to do it, but that's okay because everybody don't catch the train that fast. You know what I'm saying? So
it's amazing because I've never, talking to y'all, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. I've never met a person that really doesn't need a therapist.
oh yeah, we all need one. I think everybody need it
Seriously.
in some capacity.
In some capacity.
Yeah.
This thing called life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because like I always say, traditionally, and you Southerners should know this, if you grew up in the church or had some kind of church reflection in the house, oh yeah, go ahead and pray to God. He'll take care of your needs. Just tell him what you need. Tell him what you want. You'll get it. Just obey.
Believe.
Believe.
Obey,
Have
believe.
faith. Do what he told you to do, which are all true things. However, God made brains and he made people smart as hell. And he put these vessels out here called therapists. I'm going to need you to use them because sometimes the spirit is good, but sometimes you need a visual presence in front of you to talk to without an unbiased opinion.
Well, I know that my pastor talks about therapy.
Oh, yeah. Thank God.
And I was just talking to Shamika about my cousin Aldewan, who's a Christian psychologist, does a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
So you're right about that. I mean, that could be God's direction to someone that's severely in need or whatever the case may be. But in our community, that's a bad word.
Therapy? Oh, yeah.
That's a bad word.
But I
Used to be.
am so happy that it's now becoming a thing where it's just like, your mental health is very important. Like, we didn't think that when we was growing up. Mental what?
You're right.
Because they're associated
what?
with being crazy. As
Right.
opposed to just being a part of.
And that's something you pull that negative word out. It's crazy.
Crazy and all.
But Becky and them been seeing therapists since they were 12.
Yeah, I mean, because again.
Because they're like, we finna go and talk to somebody about this.
Right.
But also they looked at their weekends as their therapy sessions. They had fun weekends.
Uh-huh.
We don't have fun weekends. You know what I'm saying? We don't like a lot of people I grew up with. They didn't go on vacation like just out the blue. Just go out
Let's
skiing.
go.
And,
Yeah.
You know all those therapeutic things.
Well, I'm telling you now, if you look at it though, for all the therapeutic stuff they had, look at some of the behavior they like. So, you can make a case though for, again, just really individual human behavior. Because you're talking about sometimes people on paper who there's no reason that you should be having, some of the outbursts that you're having, right? Grew up with, you had money, you had this, you had that, or whatever. And then you take somebody who had the exact opposite upbringing. Exact opposite. Parents probably, let's just say, maybe somebody was on drugs or not working or whatever the scenario was. Turned out to be one of the best citizens you could have, and things like that. So it ends up being that real fine line between what you as an individual, start making your choices to use whatever the experience was to take you to whatever your next step is. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I had some people, I knew people who were a 2-parent household. But, when you look at some of the life experiences you had, I grew up in a single-parent household. It's like you would probably think it was the opposite.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? The conversation my mom used to have. Exactly. We had the Wednesday. I don't care what you had going on. You better be at the table having a conversation. You could do it in 10 minutes, but it better, you know,
It better happen.
it better
It better
happen,
manifest.
right? Better manifest. So I think as I'm looking at just the array of life experiences that I'm witnessing, as I've gotten older, I think that's the thing that I'm looking back on. Like, it really was no one way to do it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not a stereotype of the circumstances. But it's, you know, I'm sure that people have many different stories of how they came up, and it wasn't all traditional. It wasn't all, you know, set one way.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to really understand, you know, how we talked about the rebel earlier. You know, people rebellious. You know, some people grow up with money and they want to live a different lifestyle than to be rich. I mean, it's just crazy. And then other people grow up, you know, economically challenged and you know, they want to see something different. So, you know, it's really no one way to take a look at it. It's
That's
just
true.
how you deal with
Yeah.
what life throws at you. That's the bottom line.
That's true. Because, I mean, you can look at some of the rappers now. They grew up in suburbia with money.
Right.
Never knew mass
Never knew
transit.
nothing.
They never had a
You
mark
ain't
card.
never smelled no smoke. You ain't in the hell no dumbass stuff. You just was out here living your best life in your 2-story mansion with your rich family.
Yeah.
But now you want to be a thug.
I.e. John Morant.
Yeah. Drake did that shit too. Suburbia in Canada. I'm just here. Now you done come down, now you done did Amy. Boy, stop it. But I understand it, so I get what you're saying. You know, totally different
Yeah.
avenues.
You
But he want to experience what it's being down here with us.
That's right.
Then we want to go up there and be like, okay, well, we want to win a lottery, that's her. Or whatever, we want to get this money.
It can come in the
Or
form of
whatever.
lottery.
But I know people look at happiness as money. That never was one of my things. I mean, it could be a little
You would be-
segue, but
you
it's
would
not
be
my
surprised.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
You would be surprised.
My happiness is knowing that my brain is intact. I got all my functions now. The money come later. Yes, I have it sitting there comfortably in the account, but I gotta make sure I'm good, man. Because as I'm doing this show and I'm doing research and I'm reading stuff, and I'm just like, God, jeez, people are like really like losing their sanity right now for everything that's going on.
Right.
You're dealing with home life. You're dealing with a job you don't want to go to. You got to deal with their rules or whatever. You can't really say, all right, well, I need the money. I can't quit. I mean, I can go find something else, but it may not be paying what I'm making. It's just so many factors. If you have kids, I got to watch my kids. I gotta find a way to get this done. Pay this $1,900 rent. I gotta find out how to make this condo. It's just so much.
Yeah. It's a
And
lot.
people could literally go bonkers if their mind control is not there. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Listen, top of the hour here on ATL Talks Radio, where we have Rodney Turner on the panel today, and Shamika Manuel is here with us today, along with my Chief Respective Officer, Tavi's 2 cents, and we're in the middle of discussing, if you just joined us, which you should be ashamed of your damn self, if you just joined us, we are talking about why do people suppress their feelings? And you had something to say before I went off and you ran it.
No, I just, you know, it's just so many different ways to look at, you know, the conversations. Like Tab said earlier, your topics are awesome, on fire, and loaded. And it's just so many different ways that you can go. But I know that people, you know, a lot of suppressing comes from not knowing how to communicate, not knowing how to express yourself. And then, you know, the judgment and what people are going to say. The
Yeah.
question is, you know, I'm not trying to take over your show, but I really want to know, you know,
I would love to know.
how much value do you place in what others think about you?
That is a dynamite question.
Yes, sir.
Before we go off on it though,
Yeah.
listen, if you want to chime in and answer some of these questions, I forgot to give y'all my phone number. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to give it to y'all. Give me a call, 213-292-7694. I would love for you guys to participate as always. 213-292-7694. Again, it is 213-292-7694. If you want to chime in on these topics today, feel free, because I love class participation.
Yes, this is an interactive
It's an
show.
interactive platform.
Yes.
And for my YouTube audience, just comment below, and I will get to you. You feel
Yeah,
me?
we will.
So yeah, that is a dynamite question. For me, personally, this is just me. I stayed in that space.
Okay.
Because I think it was my backstory was part of the acceptance thing, right? So growing up in my home state, right, we got people that look like you. Creole, light skin, look like the skin tone and all that stuff. Good hair, whatever. Then you have the chocolate folks like me. Then you have the mid-tones like you guys. But it's a little different out there because it was a whole paper bag process when we were younger and that whole thing, right? So growing up, I used to be ridiculed about the darkness of my skin, which I can't change because I don't have any genetic power to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask the sperm cells to make him darker. I didn't do that. But, you know what I'm saying? But it used to make me sad to hear your friend. And you know when you're younger, you're jonesing with your friends. Like, you black, blah, blah, you tar baby, you skillet. All that
that one thing.
They just
boy.
kill it.
It's like, oh.
And that's like, okay, but so it really took me within the last couple of years to get to all over. That's all you got right now?
Right.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get there. But, you know, I was that person that was like, okay, I'm always walking in the room thinking about what's in somebody else's head. Social anxiety would kick in.
Right.
And I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, Tabitha makes eye contact with me, and I'm thinking automatically she's thinking something negative.
Wow.
That's where the anxiety comes in, the sweats come. Now, Tabitha could not a bit more be thinking about nothing negative. She just gave me some eye contact. I'm like, damn, I wonder what she thinking. You know what I'm saying?
She might be saying, look at that chocolate.
Right, it could have been.
Look at that chocolate drop. Look at that
My
chocolate cupcake over there.
mental, my mental went directly to something negative. It was just like,
I get that.
damn, I've been doing this half of my life. I've wasted so much time worried about what somebody else's views are about me.
Right.
What you think about me is none of my damn business.
That's true.
It ain't got nothing to do with me. That all starts with you. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a while to get there because I used to literally think like, damn, I ain't gonna never be nothing because I'm always worried about what's going on. I'll never hit my own goals because I'm always trying to be there to serve somebody else or help them with their passion and they go, I'll never get to my shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, nah. Charity starts at the house. I'm finna get this self clean first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I'm starting to learn it casually. It's like, but sometimes the enemy want to slap me sometimes. He take me back there sometimes. But I ain't gonna
What gave you, I mean, at some particular point in time, when I first met you, brother, your energy was so powerful. And that's why you and I
Wonder where have I heard
developed,
that?
developed some chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Right off the bat. I mean, we had known each other long, but at the same time, something happened. Something came along and gave you peace. Can you describe what that is?
I don't know because I've always been that person. I met her 12, 13, 14 years ago. And she walked up to me and said almost a replica of what you said. And we ain't known each other 3 minutes.
And I ain't seen you know, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
On time.
So it was like, I've always known that I had a love for people, right?
Right.
That's how God made the heart for me. It was like give without looking for reciprocation.
Right.
So I would always give.
Right.
I'm always giving the best hugs. I just like to hug people.
Nothing
That's
wrong
just
with
what I
that.
do.
Nothing wrong.
I give, you know what I'm saying? I just want people to know that there is still some LOV out here. The thing is, I was doing it backwards, right? I was giving love, but not giving it to myself.
Gotcha. Good
So I
point.
was giving it. I was just giving like it's gonna be okay. Anything I can do to help you, whatever. And I still kind of do that today. But I know how to kind of like gauge it and scale back if I have to.
Right.
But I was steady just throwing myself out to people with an open arms, just like I'm here. You need whatever you got.
Right.
Now with that third eye, you know, it's like
I have discernment.
You can't give yourself to everybody. Because everybody ain't got your genuine expressions at heart. It's like, okay, so I know who to give myself to
Right.
consciously now, as opposed to me not doing it. So when I feel the energy now, I never was an energy person until just recently. I can feel the energy if it's off.
Right.
If it's not a good energy, it's like, let me just take 20 steps back. Maybe I need to give that person some grace and I'll see a shift in it. But right now, I just can't feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's literally been within the last maybe a year or two that I'm finding out all this stuff about myself.
Wow.
It's weird because I feel like I've wasted so much time.
Well,
But you can't.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah.
and and that's the process of it. I mean, when you look back, I think we say wasted time because first of all, you put a time on something.
Yeah.
Time is just a construct for us to try to control,
Exactly.
spaces and stuff like that. But literally, there is no such thing as time, right? Because it's always moving. So how can you say something? It's never 2 o'clock because it's always 1, 2, or 1,
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
other stuff, right? But when we start to compartmentalize things and then label it, boy, I think that is one of the best gifts that this generation has given us. Get away with them labels, because you then, at that point, you start to negate all the things that I could be by putting that one label on me, right? So in the instance of, I used to live with, okay, coulda, shoulda, woulda,
Yeah.
if I did this and things like that. But one time I had a conversation with my mom of all people that made me really see, I don't know what it was. I was talking about if I could go back in time and stuff like that. And she was really matter of fact, like she was like, okay, so if you could go back in time, I mean, other people can go back in time, right? She said, so how do you know that you would even be here?
That's stumped
Right.
you.
So I'm looking like, what do you mean? I'm like the best child ever. What are you talking about? How is that possible? But she was like, because different people would be changing different things that would eventually change something else. You might not
Oh,
meet
yeah.
this person and all those types of things.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, right? All of that stuff
Part
is
2 when it's
necessary
skewed to the wrong time.
to what it is. And as we look back and understand that different doesn't mean better.
Right.
Once I got that, like, okay, because it could be different, doesn't mean that it would have been better.
Right.
So I'll take what I have. You know what I'm saying? I look back on it, I'm still here, so apparently I survived it, right? And once I started looking at it, and again, for myself, taking the labels off of stuff, saying what should have been right, what should have been wrong. One of the best quotes that I heard from Wayne Dyer was, what's the best evidence that you have that whatever happened was supposed to happen? It happened. So if it happened, then here you are, a sum total of all of that. So that's what you roll with. Okay, now what?
Right.
So
Interesting. From a yoga standpoint, how does that all of that fall into place?
Well, I'm gonna start here where G was talking about his childhood growing up and how he felt. Is you're not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So many people feel like that.
Yeah.
I felt like that, but not as far as my color. I was darker when I was younger though, but
Girl, what happened? So I can get some.
you better
No,
stay.
I'm
You better stay dark.
I'm joking.
No,
I'm
Right,
joking.
it's beautiful.
Don't
So,
change. G.
right.
Don't change.
So
the science behind that melanin, boy.
right.
Look, I know.
So at some point, like people see me now, and they might say, "Oh, she's pretty," and honestly, I don't see it sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's hard. You probably understand what I'm saying.
I
Like,
exactly
I don't
understand
see
what you're
it,
saying.
You know what I'm saying? But people will say, "Oh, you're pretty, you're pretty." Growing up as a child, a little girl, I was fat. I'm not fat. I was chubby. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like somewhere inside of me, that little chubby girl
It's
still in
still
there,
there.
and she's thinking I'm still chubby.
So you haven't even really dealt with that yet, then?
I've dealt with it.
You dealt
You
with
know
it?
what I'm saying?
Okay.
I've dealt with it.
Good, good.
I've dealt with it.
Come on, book plug. Let me see this.
So I dealt with it because I had to write about it. You know what I'm saying? I had to talk about it because I knew that other people were out there struggling as well. Yeah, so She Lives the Revival of the Goddess. It talks about all of that.
Goddess.
Yes, honey.
Yes,
And
you
so
got
I got
I
my
I
copy.
had to deal with the little chubby girl and let her know because it got so bad to the point where I would look back at pictures. I'm like in my 20s, looking back at pictures where I thought at that point I was fat. Like, well, I thought I was fat. I was
Right.
so skinny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was psychological.
Yes.
So when I realized it was
Body dysmorphia,
psychological,
baby.
right? I had to realize I had a lot of psychological work to do, a lot of psychological healing to do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's what a lot of us are dealing with.
Yep.
And it comes from whatever happened in our childhood. We bringing it on into our adulthood. You know what I'm saying? We're
A
dragging it
lot of
on
us do
in
that
there.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with that. A lot of people like to sweep it under the rug, but we have to get to it. If you want to get to your happiness, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to deal with the little boy and the little girl of the past. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to
She
deal
is
with
so
it.
right. She is telling the truth.
And it's funny. They got this this study now coming up to showing that at ages all the way up until about 8, all you're doing is downloading information. You don't have the cognitive skill to know that, okay, that doesn't make sense and things like that. You're literally just downloading information. And then by the time you get in your adolescence and you're figuring out your body and all that other stuff, and then all the information starts to, you start to try to make sense of it and stuff like that. That's that period of time that usually ends up coming back later when you realize, okay, that's what was going on, that was driving you. The question is, okay, you're in your 40s. I had a friend of mine was going through some stuff, blaming the parents for stuff or whatever. And I promise you, I swear, at the time, this person was probably about 38. And I'm looking at them, and I'm not minimizing what they were going through and stuff like that. But I really was like, so you're 38, and all you could think of is everything that you were going through when you were da-da-da. Okay, now that you've gotten it out, now what?
Exactly.
Right.
Because some of that stuff you were doing had nothing to do with that.
What's next?
Right. So what's next on it? So yeah, it's interesting on how, like you said, you get it out, but I think some people are addicted to the story and the attention that comes along with it sometimes. So you replay it 1,000 times without even realizing you're sending your body through it just like it just happened.
Over and over
as
again.
opposed to having conversations for therapeutic reasons or to help, to tell your story, to help people and things like that. But people are literally addicted to being in that position or having somebody to look at them once they tell their story and stuff like that. So they will never get past it, because if I get past it, then I don't get the attention. I don't get that rush that I get from the feeling of holding on to that uncomfortable, comfortable story.
Yeah, accountability. People don't want to hold themselves accountable.
What? I'm responsible
We
for
At
some
all.
stuff.
We don't want to.
You mean tell me I'm the reason that this happened? Oh, you think?
It ain't me. It was them.
Right. Because they'll brush it off really fast. You know
Well,
what I'm
if
saying?
they hadn't done this,
Okay.
Which is why you'll find a lot of children trying to blame it on their parents. So if you wouldn't have done this, then I wouldn't have turned out this way. Or if you wouldn't have did these drugs, I wouldn't have seen that, and I wouldn't have. They'll find a way to do it. Now again, no parent has a manual to how to raise any children. You kind of get it from. I'm so positive about it.
that's
You kind of get it
that's
from the
a
way,
bestseller.
right? Because you kind of get it from what you were taught as a parent, right?
Right.
And you thinking you're doing the best things by your kids or whatever, and then they kind of throw it back in your face. Well, you remember when you did this? Well, this is why I turned out that way. So what we gonna do at this point now? What we gonna do?
Like me, nice try. So I'm sorry. Now what?
And now that you can, not to say that it's. I don't think they use it maybe as a defense mechanism. I don't feel like it. Let me get the words together. How I'm gonna say this. Parents have to take accountability for what they've done. Okay, like she said. Okay, my bad. I didn't know. So what can we do to fix it today? Well, you can't fix it today because this is a whole new present time. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, I can tell you what we can do, whatever. But just because you're a parent, don't be sitting there talking about, oh yeah, well, I ain't know.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody tell you open your legs having kids if you wasn't prepared. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. That's a prepared thing. Like, we around here doing
The plan to be empty. Then.
you playing, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't prepared for what's gonna happen. Now, have you really gave thought about what you're doing? What's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, your whole world is about to change. It's not about you anymore. Now you have a person that you have to be responsible for.
You've made a person.
You've made a whole person.
Well, the tough part of that is just really understanding, G. You have to represent what your goal is with your children.
Okay, so let me ask you then. Does that mean?
Bring it on.
Does that mean? Let's say your kids have to live through you and your dreams, vice versa.
Yeah,
Because
not at all.
what
Not
I'm
at all.
saying is, you have those parents, the husband and wife. They have the nice house, the picket fence, the 2 cars. You go to church on Sundays. Maybe Bible studies on Wednesdays.
Club on
They-
Saturday.
Nah, this thing that family. They eat at the table every night. Honey, could you pass the potatoes? Can you do this, right? It almost would be like the Huxtables almost. In that kind of a sense, like, You're gonna go to school, you're gonna be a lawyer. I'm paying for you to go to college, I'm giving you the free ticket. I'm paying for you to do all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the parent is like, well, I'm sending you to school because I couldn't do it, and this is what I want you to do. Fulfill your duty with kids, or give you some rebuttal. I ain't trying to be no damn doctor.
Yeah.
I want to be a phlebotomist. I mean, this just whatever. Do you then say, well, it's my way or the highway?
No.
Or do you let them go on their path to
So-
find out where they're supposed to be?
You gotta listen to your children. You gotta listen to them.
You heard what he said, listen.
Listen, here, I can give you both ends of the spectrum. You know, if you're the Huxtables and you're sitting at home and you're wearing, you know, $900 sweaters and this, that, and the third.
Going
Or
trails.
trails.
Listen, you still need to understand what your child wants to do. Now, there's an exposure thing. A lot of people, they only can give you what they've been exposed to.
Yeah.
So the young lady that goes out and has 3 or 4 kids because mama had 9 or whatever,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that at some particular point in time, mom got to sit down and say, hey, I put myself in a situation that it wasn't the end of the world. God put me in this spot. I did what I did. Boom. But let's talk about. You don't have to do what I did. Let's talk about what you want to do. Then you gotta really sit down with your kid and understand what their passion is. I tell people when I do have the opportunity to speak to children, high school age on down, I tell them, first of all, I'm not trying to talk down. I'm not trying to talk down to you.
Right.
I'm trying to save you some steps because most likely in August I'll be 57 years old. Most
Come on,
likely
man.
I've been where you got to go. Right?
Yeah, done that.
I've been where you got to go. So hopefully I can talk to you. It took me 9 steps. I want you to do it in 6, or I want you to do it in 3 because I've been there.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for you to understand just because you were an NBA basketball player doesn't mean your child wants to be, or whatever the case may be. Find out what your children are genuinely interested in and tell them not to chase money because that's not the way. You're supposed to start with a passion first and the money will come. But you gotta listen to your children, whether you are the parent that is up here or the parent that has made some mistakes in the past.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and I can say like I have my oldest daughter. She played basketball from the age of 5, 6, all the way up to high school. And the plan was for her to play ball, get a scholarship,
And be free.
free ride to school. She had offers on the table, free ride. I don't want to play no more.
Oh, she said forget it. Okay, I'm done.
Did she get burnt out?
She got burned out. She did.
Didn't
Right.
What was mom's thought on that?
At first, I was like, well, no, you ain't finna. We ain't saving up no money. This is the money, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she chose not to do it. And me and her dad, we was like, okay, well, you have to figure out.
What's your next step?
Right.
what it is you're gonna do.
You got to figure it out. And she did. She graduated last year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So,
Yeah.
she had to figure it out. But we had to listen to her. At first, I didn't want to listen to her say, no, I don't want to. I
And
wasn't
that's
trying to hear that.
That's the thing. Parents don't
You
want
know,
to hear
I
that.
didn't want to hear that. Like, what
since
else?
the age of
You know what I
6.
mean? I had student loans. Listen, you don't want those,
Yep.
But I had to go. Her dad was like, no, just let her, just, we got to step back. She 18 now. She got to make some decisions. And that's what we had to do.
And I love that because you didn't go the traditional way. You gonna finish it out. You gonna do what I told you to do. You gonna finish it out, and I'm not paying no tuition. You gonna have to pay it. But you stop and actually listen to her. Cause some parents are stubborn. They don't, if what I say goes, they don't want to listen.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I'm
think
saying?
they know best, and a lot of it comes from love, right? Because they're trying to see you do better. You know
Than
what I'm
they
saying?
did,
Than
probably.
they did.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
can
said,
feel
okay,
that.
I got all these loans, so you got a free ride. And then I think they're kind of balancing the cost of it, whereas we kind of blindly went into it, like, hey, okay, that makes sense, and we went along with that. I will say that my daughter at 8, she kind of said, hey, I want to be a teacher. And then she said, do you have to go to school for that? I said, yeah, you got to go to college for that. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to college at 8, right? So every year she was saying it, right? And I ended up having a conversation with some of my friends, and they were like, well, all my kids know they got to go to college and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I said, my daughter, I heard a quote from John Lennon. They had asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He said, happy. And so the teacher said, you don't understand the question. So he told you don't understand life. And after I heard that quote and my daughter was telling me that, I always told her, like, if you ask her now what you want to be when you grow up, she'll say, happy, do you mean what I want to do? Because there's a difference, right? To find your happy and do what you like to do. Now, I'm not saying I don't pay for it all the time, so keep that in mind, but, you know, kind of focus on that. And that's actually what I lead a team of about 8 people right now. And they'll come to me and say, hey, you think this next role is good for me? Will it make you happy? I mean, because you probably can do the job, but will it make you happy?
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to help her with that because
We
you're not
should
living
have
for
a
me.
dialogue with these kids, because I swear, it's just like, you can't talk to them unless you're texting them now, so at least y'all have a dialogue. That's good.
I will text her, hey Gabby, come down for a second.
Hey,
I mean, that's
come pick up this
different.
remote for me.
I just believe I'm post.
Y'all
I had to do the remote, you gotta do it.
I'm just post social media. It's a good tool to have, especially for what we're doing, promoting the shows and,
That's pretty
you know,
much what I do.
whatever. But like,
all I know
I'm
how
so
to
a
use with that.
stickler of effective communication via the phone or in my face, because I can look at you, I can see your expression. If it's not something I'm hitting on, okay, I see you. How do you feel about it? You know, I just like that. But we're in another age, so I can't expect everything to stay the same. But you just like, I grew up where you on the phone talk to somebody, your mama can pick up the third line and be like, hey, get off my phone.
You know what time it is?
You know what time it is.
It wasn't the third line. It was just.
Oh yeah, just another phone. You know what I'm saying? Just another phone in the house. Hey,
You
it's,
know what
it's,
time
How long you gonna be
it's
on the
almost
phone?
it's almost 10 o'clock.
Now, wait a minute, now. Sometimes they pick up and they don't have to say nothing.
Right,
Yeah,
you
you
already
know.
know.
All right, then.
Like, shh,
I
I'm on
talk
the
you
phone.
about
All right, Mom. All right, I'm about to get off. That's what I'm saying. It's that kind of thing. Like, if we meeting people, we going to the skating ring, we going to the movies, we going out in the neighborhood and playing till the street lights come on all day. Don't come in my house, just come to get some water or go to the bathroom. That's it, get out. All day. You're learning people that way. Even when it comes to dating, you meet them in clubs, you meet them in libraries, school, college, functions, whatever. You meet people just generally meeting them. Not where we at. You meet people on apps, swipe them left. People lie about how they look. You see them in person, they done photoshopped the hell out of a picture. You're like, wait a minute,
Like, what age did you take that picture?
who is that? Because this ain't the same person that I'm looking at right now. So nothing's genuine. Everything is fluffed. Because I got a device in my hand that can pretty much do anything I tell it to do.
You tell it to do.
Download the Photoshop app.
Yeah.
Let's clean the blushes off my face.
It's sad. And
You know what I'm saying? It's scary as hell. Because here you is trying to, okay, get out there and date, Tabitha. You know, get out there and date. Get out there and date, right? You're like, okay, maybe I should open myself up a little bit. Well, how do I do it now? Go on Plenty of Fish. Go on Tinder.
Plenty of fish.
Go on all
Is that a
these, go
site?
on Black, yes.
Plenty of fish, yeah.
Plenty
Set
of
you up a
fish.
profile. What the, no, like why am I doing that? But then you say, okay, let's try it. Then you're gonna have 100 heathens come up in your box. And you gotta sit there and try to decipher all the conversations.
And it's just too much.
And it's a lot.
I
What
can't-
happened to going out and meeting people?
I can't do it. I'm so glad. I'm 31 years in.
Right.
Ooh, I love it.
That's a blessing. I mean, I know you good because you what, 18, 19 in?
19, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. Me, I'm not finna do all of that. What happened to,
Yes.
what happened to courting?
What happened to Courtney?
Right.
What happened to we go
I'm gonna
together?
say,
Do you
Hold
like
on,
me?
hold on.
Right.
Candy Conversations, what's your name and where you come from?
Hi, this Shanua. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Chanua, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm good.
What you got for me tonight, baby?
I don't know. I'm kind of delayed with what y'all was talking about, but they talking about like social media and how you can't trust social media and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, we're on the end of that. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. I just wanted to comment on that because I'm a big anti-social media person, and I just wanted to agree with you on that. Finally, somebody else said it. That's why I'm that really did something to me. So I just feel like it's so innocent, but you take something so innocent and turn it into something, so mean and, devious and do something like that to other people. I just think it's unreal. So I just wanted to comment on that. I really just wanted to call in and say, hey, y'all.
We'll take that too, but I appreciate your comment. So the thing that deciphered you from being social media was the whole fraudulency of it all? Is that what deterred you from it?
And then feeling like you had to pose. I just felt like out of everything that I do every day, I work, I raise a family, I'm married, I got kids, I'm this, I'm that, and then I gotta go on social media, stroll, then I gotta post. I can't enjoy my life in the moment because I'm so busy trying to let people know where I'm at, what I'm eating, what event going on for me, and I just felt like that was just like an extra task of life that was unnecessary because I could not enjoy myself in the moment because I was so busy trying to give somebody else the illusion of what I was doing in my life.
Come on.
Like, why should I have to do that? That's just like when you reached out to me about your show. If you have my phone number, I'm real. The people that I deal with, you got my phone number. So if you need to deal with something or talk to me about something, pick up the phone and do it the old school way. Call me, text me. You know what I'm saying? And you'll get that response. I don't have to be on social media to have all these friends. All my real people is in my contact. So that's how I live. I'm married 24 years. You wouldn't know that if you don't know me. But I don't win. I don't have an anniversary. I ain't posting no pictures. Why? I don't have to validate all the stuff that I'm doing in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like that's a thing that play on your mental health as well because you're so busy trying to please other people that can give two hell of things about you. I promise you, if you were going through a crisis, how many of them friends you following really truly gonna be there for you? Think about it. So I just feel like it was just an unnecessary part of my life that I didn't need, and I'm living my life. And if you know me, you know it. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know me, it ain't your business to know that I'm living my life.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that, Shadu. I really appreciate that. I got a lot of insight on that too. So a couple things you said I'm about to hit right now. So thank you so much.
All right, y'all doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you, love. Take care.
All right, bye.
Well, she hit on a lot.
She did.
Validation.
But social media was. I think when it started out, and I'm not the person that authors social media, but it wasn't. It was meant to stay connected.
Let's stay connected.
It was not meant to go on there and say, "Hey, I'm at Captain D's eating shrimp." It wasn't meant for all of that, and I think she's so right. I do think that social media has its place.
Yeah.
But I think it has gotten out of hand. I think people do way too much with it right now. Just like you said earlier, G, I use it to promote my radio show, and then I'll see people that I haven't seen since high school.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
See, I like it for that aspect. Like, I will get on there and promote my show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll promote movies that I'm about to be in or something like that. And that's an accomplishment, right?
Yes.
But I think what people get pissed off with me about is because I'm going to give it to you all.
Mm-hmm.
If there's some BS going on while I'm feeling away, you going to know it because I'm going to post it. I'm not going to sit here. If I just feel like I need to vent, I don't have that person to talk to.
Right.
Today is just not the day. This is how I'm feeling. You'll get that. But you also gonna get the good stuff too. Now, do I have to share that? No. But I feel like sometimes if I hit one person that made me feel it, because it happens all the time, I'll get an inbox or somebody call me and be like, bro, I feel the same way too, bro. You're so brave for sharing it with people.
Right.
Well, I had to do that once I got this platform because I can't have the talk show and be up here live.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to be open. So, yeah. I know we was talking about suppressing feelings and that went all the way another way, but this is why I love this show, because you open up new avenues and you hear different perspectives on things. So, listen, here's one that I feel like I wanted to hit y'all on because everybody's up here is mature. So I want to talk about this, right?
All right.
How do we effectively build our tribe? Because we've been through years or we've met people that may be here for a reason, season, lifetime, right? Or some of them even resurface and come back. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, how do you know who is best fit for what you need to be here for now? Or do you just kind of say, eh? So how do you effectively build your tribe? I'm going to start with you.
With me.
Yeah, I'm going to start with you because you're thinking about it hard. I'm going to start with you, Shamika. So as your journey through life is happening, past and current, how do you feel like now you would need to develop your tribe, even if you don't even have one?
So I would say, first and foremost, I would have to definitely, or I am building with people who are like-minded.
Interesting.
So what's my closeout statement you'll hear this evening?
People who are like-minded because, and people who share the same values, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, say for instance, I know a group of people who they're building right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a large group. They're building. They're growing foods. They're, growing their own foods. They got all this stuff, and they're building a tribe. They can't let someone come in there that eat McDonald's every day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna throw the vibes off.
Throw it off.
It's gonna throw the vibes off. So you
Yes,
gotta
it
make
is.
sure everybody come up in there is on the same wavelength.
Right.
You know, y'all going in the same direction, got the same goals. So that's how I'm building, like making sure I'm around like-minded people who are thinking, healthy thoughts. We're trying to get better. We're trying to improve. We're trying to, heal each other
Yeah.
and ourselves.
I love that. Rodney,
That, tough.
is that tough for you? Tell me why.
Because I mean, I have my best friend. We met in kindergarten,
Okay.
and a lot of times when Shamika said, being surrounding yourself with like-minded people, I have, we've been knowing each other for 50. Let me see,
You're 56.
5 o'clock. 5 years old, you go to kindergarten. So 51, 52 years I've known this guy.
Yeah.
And we don't have to see each other for months. We get together and talk, and it's just chemistry, and it is what it is. It's the same old stuff, and other friends. But I do think that when you deal with people, you do pick out some things that they do that you may not like, and you may not be able to. You won't let yourself, you won't lower your standards to be around. I do think being around like-minded people is very important, but also it's people that really, really understand what's going on, and that you guys have been through things together. You guys have history. You guys have developed an understanding of how, it's just like, in my mind, it's just like dating. You gotta, if you met a significant other, you have to put them in circumstances to see if they react the way that they will react the way that attracts you. So if you're not ghetto and you meet somebody and they go in and start screaming and hollering and doing stuff that's not your character, then you kind of understand that, hey, it's just like meeting someone that makes you that pisses you off. Well, so one day you're gonna catch a case.
Right.
She gonna make you go from 0 to 100 so fast.
Man, look.
It's something. Yeah, it's something that you have to really kind of.
Yeah.
It's important because relationships, they are developed. I don't know too many people that are in a relationship with people that are just so different than them from a standpoint of what their values are. So I stick with the like-mindedness, but I do know that I have some people that have like skin in the game, 50-something years of relationships. A couple of guys that I knew, one guy from nursery school. They'll always be in my circle. And I'll say this and I'll end, but I've been in like 10 different weddings in my life, and I'm not the best person to fit a tuxedo in. So I told, if you ain't married, you can't be my friend, because I ain't gonna be at nobody's wedding.
I know that's right.
But that's a joke. But it's really interesting. But mostly, I like the like-mindedness, but also skin in the game.
Okay. CPO.
Yeah, for me, building a tribe is a ongoing, dynamic situation, right? Again, you have people that you've known forever, and they have their place. right? You have certain people. I've learned to look at people and let them have the right to be who they are, right? And make sure that that fits what I need, right? Because like I have one person that is like a really good liar. Like I'm talking
Really?
just like that.
Hey, you
Yep.
know this?
Like,
You're,
really good.
you're aware of this?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
They still
And
in
if
your
I ever
tribe?
need, a good story, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how would you word this or something like that? And it's not that they're like a bad person, but they will like lie about some stuff and be really convincing, right? And you're like, if I didn't know
Do
you,
they know that do they
yeah,
know that you know?
they know I know, and they know some other people now, right? But again, part of what they are, they are really good storytellers too. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when I say they're really good liars? By the time they embellish it, but because you might know, like, but I still allow them to be who they are, right? Because I think that there are other qualities that people have, and I put people in categories almost in a sense where this is the person I can call on if my car break down.
Right.
But this person right here, even though I can call them in the middle of the night, if the car break down, I can't call them. You know, so once I kind of really started to love people for who they were and not necessarily who I wanted them to be, and just demonstrated, you know, the qualities that benefit me at the time that I needed it, and likewise with them. That's how I built a tribe, and I demonstrate those qualities. You know what I'm saying? When you have a car breakdown, you can call me, you know, and stuff like that. So I do a two-way street type of scenario, and that's how I have the core of my tribe.
Y'all tribe's bigger than mine.
Oh. I'm still stuck on the liar.
I mean, but that's who they are. That had nothing to do with me.
The lion member of your tribe.
The liar devil.
Hey,
I love it.
Okay.
that's what they do. You know?
Hey.
That's they roll.
I ain't mad at it. Oh, interesting.
So
Type
how
that
do
up in a
you?
Rolodex.
Hey, yes, put it in your Rolodex in
Oh,
case you
yeah.
might need 1-800-LIES. He can come up with different stories for stuff, and I'm
Nah,
telling you,
I'm
man, he's a
definitely not gonna do
good
that.
storyteller.
He plays
Oh.
his role in your
He
tribe.
Right.
plays his role.
For me, I'm looking at people with a different lens nowadays.
A different lens.
Yeah, and the reason why is because now I'm in the place where I can sit back and observe things, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to be a good fit for me. And I'm going to verbally tell you this is not going to be a good fit for me. I'm not going to have you wondering why we don't communicate anymore. You're going to know why. This is not a good fit, and here's why. Gives you closure, gives me closure, we're done. You know what I'm saying? However you feel about it. It's not going to be in a disrespectful manner. It'll be just be, hey, because I've been burned so much around there, I swear.
Yeah.
Remember I told you earlier in the show, I had come on in, you faithful, right?
Right.
And I'm not looking for anything that I do for somebody in reciprocation. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. But if you know I need you, or you can sense that I need you, let me know that I know that you're there, right? You know, I've done so much for people. I've taken people on trips. I've taken people to do things. I've given money for them to be okay. I've given personal things along the way to people, right? Because I don't want you to fall short on nothing. I'm trying to see what I can do.
Trying to be in the gap for something.
Yeah, you know, just be there because, you know, I might be that last person that gave you this $100 for something to eat, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case, right? But if we've had conversations, and some people know that my mental state ain't the best sometimes. Because that's not being funny. It's just like, I know sometimes I can go and tank down in a state of depression where I'll go back to a dark place. And I'm trying to get out of there, but I'll go back there. And the first thing I'm thinking about is death. That's where my mind goes. It's like, it's not no in between. It's like, I can't handle this shit no more. And I just feel like if I'm not here, I don't have to deal with it. But if I knew that I had effective people to call me like, you okay? Like, I literally will pick up a phone or text like, you know how we like, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
How's your mental health? You okay? How's everything mentally going for you? Because you have to be in a space like, that's where we at now. It used to be, I used to be the person to call every other day. Everything good? I ain't heard from you in a couple days. You straight? Everything cool? Well, just check it in, just making sure you're good. I would never get that in reciprocation unless somebody wanted something.
I feel like
You know what I'm
I feel that way
saying?
a lot sometimes.
And I hate that because I'm tired of people looking. I'm tired of expecting what I'm giving out of other people, and I should not be doing that.
That's true.
I should not be expecting Tabitha to give me what I'm
To
giving her.
reciprocate.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like people are so, again, selfish people. Their mind frame is, what can you do for me?
Right.
F you, but what can you do for me?
But that's human nature.
It is, but I think you have common sense too, or you have the sense enough to be like, you know what? Ronnie's a good person. Why am I taking this man's kindness for weakness? Like, it could be they Ronnie decide to say F me, and I'm out here like, damn, I just F'd up that friendship.
Yeah.
And it could be better of years of loyalty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been running this man for 40 years, and he just tired of me. Just every time he look up, I'm asking. But where you was when my dog died, bro? I just needed somebody to talk to.
Right.
You ain't even come to the pet cemetery.
pick up
You
the
ain't
phone
do that.
for me,
You
right?
know what I'm saying?
It's interesting.
That's the kind of the way I look at it now, because just recently it's just like I kind of just have my eyes open now. Cause I can be a good old introvert. I'm an only child. I'm good. I'll
Right.
stay in my space and be cool.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to not operate with people, but I used to want to be that person who was giving. I used to buy friendships, Rodney,
Yeah. That's
because I'm an only child.
right.
So I used to literally like, let's go to the store and get you. I used to literally buy friendships and still know motherfuckers. Excuse me. And still know people. See, I get passionate. Sorry.
You spoke your mind.
And still know that people, first, still know people will be taking advantage.
Right.
Knowing it this full, yeah, I know, but I mean, I got somebody to talk to or hang out with in crowd.
Right.
That's what I used to do. Like, that's so embarrassing, but I did it
Well,
because I wanted to be accepted.
But the second time, shame on you.
Shame on me.
But you're seeing it.
Oh yeah.
You're seeing it.
So now I'm kind of like vigilant in who I let in my space, because this ain't finna be for everybody no more.
No.
And it's no disrespect to anybody. It's just like, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm all right.
And sometimes those experiences come though to teach you that.
Oh yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? And it'll teach you that.
And I
sometimes
thank God
at
for
a level where you don't have a lot to lose.
Mhm.
Right? So you can make better decisions. So when you're on that larger stage, you know what I'm saying, you can recognize easily
Yeah.
that somebody's coming in and they just, opportunists
Right.
and things like that.
Yeah.
I like to look at people like that as antagonists in my story. Because every story needs a villain.
True.
Yeah, but I don't like it. It's uncomfortable for me.
Well,
Like, cause it's even if I have a movie premiere coming up in a couple months. I guarantee you, everybody I send it to, ain't nobody gonna show up for me. I can guarantee you that.
Don't guarantee.
Don't do
No, I'm
it.
just saying. This is just an example.
Yeah.
I've had past films that I promoted out and
Yeah.
sent out. Nobody's there for me, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, but it hurt. Did it hurt? Yeah, because you said you was gonna be there or whatever.
Right.
Just smile, show a face. I don't get that, and that's okay. But it's just little things like that for me, so I'm not gonna overtalk it. But that's just I just watch it a lot
The
now.
experiences you go through have a purpose.
Yeah,
And
And I'm learning that too.
Whether good or bad,
Yeah.
you go through your experiences, man, where you can share with others and again save steps for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Regardless of what has gone on, ever since I've been on your show 3 times. Two or three
you're almost to the magic 5. This
I love
third
it.
right
No,
here.
That's why I love to come back anytime you send me
The
I
calendar.
put a date in. I said I want to be there, and I'm so glad that Shamika's here today.
Yes.
But I think looking at where you've come from, when you mentioned what you went through growing up, like that must have been the worst experience. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you can help so many. That's why you're here on this platform.
This is why.
Being able to let people know, somebody's at home listening right now and saying, man, I went through that same thing.
Yeah.
And this is really helping me.
And that's why I
Look
had to
at
fight.
you.
That's why I had to fight, because when I got off of the platform, it was like, okay, I literally have to be vulnerable. That means sharing some embarrassing stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's going to touch.
That's
Or
right.
bring them out of where they're at, you know what I'm saying? To let them know, hey, if that person can deal with it, hell, I can deal with it too.
That's right.
It's scary. It was scary, boy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, is it the judgment going to come? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Should I fall into it? Absolutely not. Because the Spirit and Him gave me this to help other people.
To help others.
But wait, there's going to be more. Watch. Pay attention.
No doubt.
Pay attention.
I'm watching you.
Oh, it's coming.
I know.
It's coming. There's more coming. It's cooking. It's brewing.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So I think the blessing in that, because I did fight with this. I did fight with, and I think I shared this with you. I fought with, dear God, why would you let these events happen to somebody? Right? Yep, they survived them. But why? What's the learning lesson, right? So, and I'll just be candid. I feel like I talk about this every show, but this is just, this is what it is. Why would you let a child be molested or raped by the same sex? So now you've stolen his innocence. You've stolen his manhood. You have him in a confused state. So all of this stuff goes on with you for years, and it's stored in the mental Rolodex.
No doubt.
Right? So you have to fight with, as a black man, because we don't talk about these things. If it did happen to us, it makes us look less than a man because we're sharing it, right? But I had to fight with, do I want to share this story with people for the judgment that I might receive? Or do I have to look at it in a bigger picture? And God said, hey, bro, just as clear as I'm talking to y'all three right now, share the story. I'm going to give you the platform to share the story. And the funny part about it is, 5 years prior, when I got my little call to the job, I'm on the phone. And every time I would get on the phone, there was somebody saying, do you do radio? Every time. Are you radio? Do you do radio? You should look into broadcasting. You should do it. And later, here it is, I'm on a show.
Voila.
Why not?
God had already planted that seed, bro.
Yes, he did.
But the thing was, I literally was talking like, why would you even let that go down?
It's not to your understanding.
And it's not. But I wanted to know, just like these kids be questioning you, I want to know, like, why would you even let that happen? Do you know what happened because of A, B, and C? But it ain't for me to know.
And sometimes the picture is bigger than us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it ain't about
It
us.
ain't about us.
It ain't about us. And I had to get to that stage. It's not about me. This is about some little 10, 12-year-old that's probably going through the same stuff
That's right.
that I done went through and don't know how to discuss it.
That's right.
Or don't know the right steps to take. So I'd rather myself tell the story. I don't think kids listen, but I'll get there.
Adults too.
Yeah. If I get there, or adults say, hey, let me talk to you. How's everything going with you? You know, just somebody to hear. If I can change one,
This is what's next for you.
I'm good. I'm writing a book.
This is what's next
What your book said while you holler, shake your head? You got two that's out. She ain't even finished. She got two books she in the middle of writing that ain't finished.
All right.
We're going to make sure them books are wrote in
for you.
2025.
I'm reading all
No,
of
you
them.
didn't say 2025.
I'm going to give you some time.
You gonna give you some
Don't do
time.
that. That's been the issue, remember?
You
10
procrastinate.
years going on. You know, it's that perfectionist, like, you know, and
Right.
it's funny, I have somebody that told me, he's like, you're trying to write and edit at the same
You
time.
can't do
So
that.
You'll
You
never
can't
get
do that,
done.
yeah.
So just write it. Somebody
That's
else
You have a
will
book
do it.
right in front of you right here.
So I'll definitely take some tips.
Yes.
As I take my copy, I like to
That's
see a copy
Yes,
after the
ma'am.
show.
You can't have mine.
I don't want yours. I got two
I
books.
have three.
I see, look, see, I'm scoping out the inventory.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got my
Okay.
name in
Yes,
all
it
of
is.
them. She gonna have to
Rodney, you
autograph
know her.
mine.
We don't know her.
Right, that's right. You can get yours
No.
anytime.
You get yours at any time.
Y'all got her phone number now. I want her to be a friend of the show.
That's
I'm here
right.
for
Oh,
that.
yeah, that'd be good.
I'm here for that,
Especially
man.
then the yoga about the relationship and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I'm
that's
so
good.
interested in learning more
Yeah.
about that.
I love that. So listen, it is time, y'all. So before I get out of here, before we get out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over. If you have not heard and been blessed with this Tab's 2 cents, she's on point. This is why she's the Chief Respective Officer. So I'm about to give y'all another episode of Tab's 2 cents here on ATL Talks Radio. Tabby, take it away, please.
Thank you, hostess with the mostest.
Not a hostess.
Nah,
I'm not a
I
hostess.
did. You're right.
The
You're right.
host.
I'm
Not a
the host
hostess.
with the most. It's just so rolling off. On it. So I stand corrected. Host with the most.
There you go.
And my esteemed guest. And just wanted tonight you touched on building that tribe. And so important as we look to building our tribe that we build that inner tribe so that we are attracting, people on the same vibe, whether it be mental, whether it be life experiences, the different talents that they can bring to the table. But you have to demonstrate that at home first. Without building the inner tribe, you're going to attract people that not necessarily are on the same level, and not a lower or a higher level, but mentally when you get ready to build your empire or build your business, build your life, things of that caliber, you want people who you can have a conversation with and they are on the same mission. They have the same goals. May not look exactly the same, but we're kind of going down that same path. And while you're doing that, building that tribe, that consists of doing your own homework, that consists of charity starts at home. That's something that we have been promoting here for quite a while. We ought to probably do a hashtag. It's just charity starts at home, charity starts at home. So that inner tribe that you build, when you're creating all of the qualities that you would be looking out for, I need you to look in for. Once you start looking in for it, you will be surprised that people will show up that are reflections of that inner tribe that you've built. And that's something that we had traditionally, right? That neighborhood that we talked about before, right? Everybody looking out for each other because guess what? I'm looking out for you. So naturally, you're going to look out for me. Right. So now we're getting to the stage where we start to look inward. We're finding out that if I don't start at home, anything that I build, it will not last. So choose your foundation, start your own inner tribe. Let's build that first and watch your other tribe come join you. Wow. And that's Tab's 2 cents for tonight.
Good stuff. Thank you.
I told y'all it's awesome stuff.
The chief perspective. That means CPO, the chief perspective officer.
She coined herself the chief perspective officer, so we stuck with it. I like it.
He said, okay, which gonna be that name?
Yeah, so that's it. I love that. Listen, for you all who have listened tonight, thank you for taking time out of your day to hear what's going on. I'm going to give the floor to you so you can tell these people, Miss Shamika, what about his book and tell a little about your services and what you have to offer because people be listening.
All right, listeners.
And watchers.
And watchers. So yes, I am Shamika Manuel. At She Lives Well is my hashtag, is my handle on all platforms. I am an author. I've written the book She Lives: The Revival of the Goddess. It talks about the 5 dimensions of rebirthing your infinite power, your divine power to conquer the many effects of abusive relationships, toxic belief systems, and unhealthy mentalities. So in this book, you will find you'll find my story because I can't write about it if I didn't live through it. There was I went through the whole depression. I went through the whole want to kill myself. All of that. So, and that's why I say she lives. She lives is an affirmation for me. She lives. Like I'm living, overcoming everything. Okay. In addition, you can go to shelives.com if you want to get the book. Get the book. It is so amazing. I've gotten a lot of feedback on the book. People don't want to put it down. So many people have similar stories. I'm actually amazed at how many people have reached out to me. But also too, I have yoga classes going on, retreats going on. So also go ahead and go to the website shelives.com. You can go to sheliveswell.com. And the classes are in Decatur, Georgia. In a deck. That's right.
They say that's where it's great, huh?
Hey, it's right there. Yes, in Decatur. So you can also look on the website shelives.com and get more information about the yoga classes. Again, I am Shamika Manuel at She Lives Well. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. Tab. Thank you so much. And Rodney, I appreciate it.
Oh,
yes.
No doubt.
Rodney, you want to plug your stuff, sir?
Yeah, man. This a 6-pack you get back on there?
Sign me up for that class.
I'm checking out the picture back there, man. Yeah, this is Rodney Turner from Tuskegee, Alabama, better known as Rod Steele. You can catch me on Hot 923 Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12. And you can go back and forth to G's show on Saturday.
Flip
G
back and forth.
Flip back and forth. Give us all the listeners. Matter of fact, if you got 2 phones like most people do right now, put one on, put one on Hot 923, put one on ATL Talk.
Yes, go.
And give us listeners and just have a good time. I'm gonna have you thumping and bumping. G and Tab gonna have all the good.
How you
Thinking
over
and,
here.
and promoting thought and promoting change.
Yes.
Once again, I subscribe to this to this young man and this young lady right now. They do a fantastic job, and I deeply appreciate being here. But once again, tune in and Wednesday nights and Saturday nights for G and Tab,
Yes.
and then Saturday mornings for me on Hot 923. That's Hot HOTT923.com. Once again, The Fusion with Rod Steele.
Yay.
Right.
I heard that radio voice, huh?
Right.
Okay. Well, listen, it has been a dynamite show tonight. I actually feel a little better. It's gonna
Sound
really
a lot
feel good when
better.
I go home and take this damn Benadryl. But
You sound better. Big
I
man.
saw it's cleared up a little bit. Thank God. Where can they find this?
Guys, go ahead and download that app, ATL Talks. You can catch it on iHeart. You can catch it directly on Google and Apple. If you're having any issues so far with the direct Google and Apple, check us out on iHeart. And then, of course, you can catch us on Cluster TV.
Yes, so you can do Cluster TV. The apps are there, so you can listen as well as watch visuals. There's a lot of content on there you can do on demand, but the radio stations are actually embedded in the Cluster Media app as well. So if you can't catch the link and download the actual app, go to Cluster TV. All of the stations are there. Rod's station is there. Hot 92.3, my station is there. ATL Talks, we're all there for you. For my YouTube audience, again, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell me your thoughts. If you want to be a guest on the show, Tabby, what do they must and have to do?
Well, you can email us at ccwithg@gmail.com. You can DM, is that still the word? That's what it
It's still that.
It's still that at GSoCandid or Tabs 2 Cents on Instagram.
There you go.
IG.
Love that. So listen, again, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come up
Amazing.
here.
Thank you.
I had a great time.
Yes.
I love talking to
I did
mature individuals because that's what we do. And as I say every night before we clear out, make sure you take care of yourselves and each other, but damn it, put yourself first because charity starts at the house.
That's right.
You have to get yourself right, and please surround yourself with positive, like-minded individuals and protect your mental energy, for that is very vital to the growth of your mental health. I love you guys to the moon and back. Tab, when we coming back?
We'll see you guys on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right around the time Rod is on. So you can catch him for the first hour,
For the
then,
first hour.
then hop between us for the last couple.
That's
you
right,
go.
channel
You know what I'm
service.
saying? Channel service. When he on the commercial, just pop in over here with us.
I guarantee you'll like,
And then just,
both shows.
Yeah,
Yes,
Rod
yes, 'cause
Rod
he
plays
broke.
that good music.
He got like some really good music.
Yeah, he takes me
Y'all
back.
need me on Saturday to hurry up.
It's good stuff.
No,
So
it
yeah,
is.
we'll be back this Saturday with another show.
Tomorrow's my birthday. Get his birthday shout out.
Is it?
Happy birthday, Tab.
No, is it really?
Yes,
Must be good turning
I didn't know
27.
that.
it is good. Turn 27 times, a couple of numbers.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, well listen, we'll make it a birthday show Saturday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Tabitha.
Happy birthday, Tab.
Thank you.
That's good
Birthday.
stuff.
Okay, you made it around the globe another time.
Another time.
All right, well listen,
I love it.
I'm happy to hear this. Yeah, we'll make Saturday a birthday show.
All right.
Okay, I'm here for that. All right, y'all. Well, until the next time I talk to y'all, make sure you download everything that we told you to download. Make sure you go on every app we told you to sign. Buy the book.
Buy the
Yes.
book.
Buy the book.
Yes.
Buy the book. There it is. She lives. Okay? Because you got to live. You might get some good knowledge out of that. But we'll talk to y'all on Saturday morning. Thank y'all again. Love you to the booty back. And we out. We out this thing.
Deuces.
Deuces.